Hello Lakers fan, if you are one of those who are always up to date with the news about our Lakers, then you need to stay tuned to what is coming up on our Lakers news channel. I am preparing exclusive coverage on the possible signings of LAKERS, and what I can tell you is that rumors are catching fire on social media, and if you don't want to miss any information, stay tuned. We have exclusive news every day. If you are a true Lakers and don't want to be left out of the news, be sure to subscribe. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Let's go to the video.
Shams Charania predicts NBA's wildest offseason yet. This could be the craziest one ever. If you thought the NBA trade deadline was wild, just wait for what's coming next. The NBA has built its identity around unpredictability. Every season, blockbuster moves shake the league in ways no one saw coming. But according to NBA insider Shams Charania, we might be on the verge of an offseason that takes things to an entirely new level. Appearing on the Pat McAfee show, Charania didn't hold back. Pat, I think this is the most anticipation team executives have ever had heading into an offseason. I think this could be the craziest offseason. I don't even want to say of all time. We just came off the craziest trade deadline ever. But yeah, this one could top even that. Coming from one of the league's most trusted insiders, that's saying something. A storm is brewing across the league. This year's trade deadline already shocked fans around the world, especially when the Dallas Mavericks pulled off a seismic deal, sending Luka Dončić to the Los Angeles Lakers. Moves like that are unheard of, a franchise trading a superstar still approaching his prime. It sent shockwaves through the NBA, and it might just be the beginning. What's driving this whirlwind? A perfect storm of factors. The new collective bargaining agreement, CBA, has put pressure on front offices to make tough financial decisions. Some teams are feeling the squeeze of their timelines. Others see a unique window to go all in, while parity across the league is at an all-time high. Even Lakers GM Rob Pelinka has hinted that we're in for a frenzy, suggesting the upcoming offseason could feature more movement than anyone anticipates. Trade talks already heating up. Rumors are already flying, with general managers scrambling to position themselves ahead of the 2025 NBA draft. Free agency could be equally volatile. Big names are on the market, and several contending teams are just one bold move away from tipping the scales. Expect reporters like Shams Charania to be working overtime this summer, as trades, signings, and surprise moves dominate the headlines. Why this offseason feels different? What makes this year unique is the sheer number of teams in the mix. Thanks to the league's growing parity, nearly a dozen franchises can legitimately convince themselves they're just one or two pieces away from title contention. That kind of competitive balance leads to action, urgency, risk-taking. The arms race is on, and no one wants to be left behind. Lakers in the middle of the mayhem. The Los Angeles Lakers are no strangers to chaos, and they're poised to be right in the thick of it again. While they captured a championship in 2020, they haven't been able to replicate that success. Now, with LeBron James inching closer to retirement and key pieces in flux, they could make a splash to stay relevant. Their involvement in this offseason is even more historic considering what's at stake. The 2025 NBA champion will become the seventh different team to win a title in the last 7 years, a stunning run of variety that highlights how wide open the league really is. And if the Lakers want to reclaim their spot at the top, they'll likely need to act boldly, and fast. Buckle up, this offseason could redefine the NBA. As wild as the trade deadline was, the coming offseason could blow it out of the water. With stars potentially on the move, financial pressures reshaping rosters, and so many teams chasing a title, this summer is shaping up to be a turning point in NBA history. Shams Charania has his finger on the pulse of the league. And if he's bracing for chaos, you should too. League-wide implications. No team is truly safe. As front offices gear up for what could be a transformational summer, one thing is clear: no roster is untouchable anymore. In an era where even superstars like Luka Dončić can be moved, everyone from all-NBA talents to promising young prospects may be in play. This shift in mindset, where stability takes a backseat to opportunity, signals a new age of hyper-aggressive team building. The pressure to win now is fueling a wave of risk-taking we haven't seen since the superteam era began. But this time, it's not just a few dominant franchises, it's almost everyone. You've got teams like the Phoenix Suns and Milwaukee Bucks trying to reshape their rosters around aging cores. You've got the Miami Heat hunting for another star to pair with Jimmy Butler. The Philadelphia 76ers may finally break up their roster around Joel Embiid if another playoff exit looms. And out west, Teams like the Sacramento Kings and Minnesota Timberwolves are walking a fine line between growth and regression. With new CBA rules penalizing teams that go deep into the luxury tax, even traditionally all-in franchises are being forced to consider moves they would have never entertained just a few seasons ago. Rising stars could shift the landscape. Beyond the veteran stars and expiring contracts, keep an eye on the next generation of breakout players. Guys like Jonathan Kuminga, Tyrese Maxey, and even LaMelo Ball are starting to pop up in trade chatter, not because teams want to part ways with them, but because they might have to. As we mentioned earlier, Golden State may be pushed to trade Kuminga due to roster redundancy and cap concerns. And with teams like the Brooklyn Nets and Chicago Bulls interested in acquiring young stars, this summer could easily become a battlefield for the future faces of the league, not just current headline makers. The draft could be the first domino. The 2025 NBA draft could act as the spark that lights this powder keg. With multiple teams eyeing top picks, trade talks are already underway that involve not just this year's draft capital, but major players as well. There's real buzz that teams in the top 10 might be willing to swap their pick for proven talent, and contenders in win-now mode are ready to pounce. Expect names like Darius Garland, DeJounte Murray, and even Zion Williamson to come up as front offices try to balance youth with competitiveness. Fan engagement is at an all-time high. What's clear is this: fans are locked in like never before. Between the non-stop rumor mill on social media, the rise of NBA podcasts, and the global appeal of the league's stars, off-season drama is no longer just a sideshow, it's become must-see entertainment. And that's not by accident. The NBA has leaned into its role as a 12-month league, where free agency, trade speculation, and player movement keep fans glued to their screens long after the final buzzer of the finals. If this summer unfolds the way Shams Charania and other insiders are predicting, the off-season might just rival the regular season in drama, and set the tone for the next decade of basketball. Final thought: a league on the brink of a new era. So where does all this leave us? On the edge of something big. Potentially historic. This off-season doesn't just promise big moves, it promises a redefinition of power in the NBA. A few bold trades, a surprise signing, or one unexpected draft day deal could reshape everything. As Shams put it, this might be the craziest one yet. And if he's right, we're about to witness an off-season that doesn't just change rosters, but changes legacies. So buckle up. The NBA isn't just about who wins the finals anymore. It's about who wins the off-season. Markieff Morris reacts to Luka Dončić's dramatic weight loss. He's ready to reset. Luka Dončić is out to prove something. After a roller coaster season that ended in a shocking trade from the Dallas Mavericks to the Los Angeles Lakers, the Slovenian superstar found himself at the center of heavy criticism, not just for his defense, but for his overall conditioning and commitment to the game. Dallas made it clear, they no longer believed Dončić was the long-term piece to build around. And after a disappointing first-round playoff exit, many were quick to question whether Luka had what it takes to lead a team deep into the postseason. But if recent images out of Madrid are any indication, Dončić has taken that criticism personally, and is using it as fuel. A different Luka? Over the weekend, Dončić was spotted courtside at a Real Madrid basketball game, and the photos quickly went viral, not because of who he was with, but because of how he looked. Leaner, sharper, more locked in. Reports out of Slovenia confirm what the photos suggest. Luka is spending his off-season transforming his body and rebuilding his focus. And few people are more qualified to speak on that transformation than Markieff Morris, who played alongside Luka in Dallas and came with him to Los Angeles in the blockbuster deal. Speaking on ESPN's First Take Monday morning, Morris didn't hesitate to back his former teammate. "That's my guy, Luka." As Stephen A. said, "You'd think we'd be in peak shape during the season, but people don't see what it's really like. Hotel food at 3 a.m., flights into cities overnight, eating again at 4 a.m., it takes a toll. Add to that the stress of a long season and being traded mid-year. He went through a lot. But now he's back in Madrid, and I know how much that place means to him. He's relaxed, back in his element, and for the first time in months, you can just tell, he's at peace." Luka's redemption arc begins. For Luka, this isn't just about fitness, it's about redemption. It's about regaining control of his narrative. Critics may be loud, but those closest to Dončić know his work ethic never truly disappeared. As Morris put it, "During the season, I was in the gym with Luka every day. People don't understand the pressure he carries. But now he's got that summer routine, he's eating clean, he's got his personal chef, and when that happens, anything's possible. The Luka you're seeing now is just the beginning. Rookie doubt only adds more fuel. And as if Dončić needed more motivation, a recent video added more fire to the flame. In a viral clip featuring 2025 NBA draft prospects, players were asked to choose between Dončić, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Anthony Edwards. Every single one of them ranked Luka last. That might be recency bias, but it also reflects the shifting perception of a player once considered the most unguardable offensive talent in the league. For Dončić, this offseason is no longer just about bouncing back physically, it's about reminding the world who he is. Looking ahead. Will Dončić be in elite shape when training camp begins? Time will tell. But early signs suggest he's on a mission. He's been humbled. He's been doubted. And now he's working in silence, away from the noise, reshaping his body and, more importantly, his mindset. If Luka comes into next season refreshed, locked in, and ready to lead, the league might be in for a rude awakening. Because a motivated Luka Dončić? That's a problem no defense wants to face. A message to the league: Luka isn't done yet. Luka Dončić's body transformation isn't just about looking the part, it's a clear message: he's not going anywhere. While some questioned whether he could coexist with the Lakers' star-studded roster or handle the expectations that come with wearing purple and gold, Luka seems determined to rewrite his narrative, on his own terms. Inside the Lakers organization, there's growing optimism. Team insiders report that Luka has been in regular contact with team trainers, even while overseas, ensuring his off-season training remains aligned with the team's long-term vision. If he shows up to camp lighter, sharper, and more committed defensively, it could completely change the Lakers' trajectory next season. And that's the scary part for the rest of the league. Can he be the face of the Lakers? The Lakers haven't had a young superstar with this level of international appeal since a teenage Kobe Bryant, and they know what they have. Dončić may have come in under difficult circumstances, but if he embraces the opportunity, he could become the centerpiece of the post-LeBron era in Los Angeles. LeBron James is nearing the twilight of his career. Anthony Davis continues to be elite, but has battled injuries. What the Lakers need is someone who can carry the torch, someone who can bridge the present with the future. If Luka steps up both physically and mentally, he could be that guy. International media reacts. Dončić's recent photos and reports from Madrid didn't just make waves in NBA circles, they sparked a surge of headlines across Europe. Slovenian outlets praised his focus and maturity. Spanish fans, many of whom remember him as a teenage phenom with Real Madrid, were thrilled to see him return to his roots looking revitalized. The reaction wasn't just emotional, it was symbolic. Luka going back to Madrid, to where it all began, suggests this offseason is about more than fitness. It's about resetting his identity, getting back to what made him great in the first place. What's at stake this season? This upcoming season may quietly be the most important of Luka Dončić's career. The expectations in Los Angeles are sky high. The pressure is constant. Every night is a headline. And the doubters, especially after the rookie rankings video, are louder than ever. But for Luka, this isn't unfamiliar territory. He's been doubted before. Too slow. Too ball-dominant. Not athletic enough. Yet season after season, he's silenced critics with elite playmaking, unmatched vision, and clutch shot-making. Now, with his body finally catching up to his talent, the ceiling might be even higher. His legacy starts now. If Luka can lead the Lakers to a deep playoff run, or even a championship, after being written off by his former team and media alike, it could go down as one of the great redemption arcs in modern NBA history. And if he fails? The narrative of wasted potential could stick longer than he'd like. But for now, all signs point to a Luka Dončić rebirth, fueled by criticism, grounded in discipline, and powered by something deeper, hunger. Because sometimes, the most dangerous players aren't the ones at the top. They're the ones who've tasted rock bottom, and are fighting their way back. Lakers rumors: LeBron James expected to pick up player option for 2025-26 season. After wrapping up his 22nd season in the NBA, LeBron James finds himself at yet another career crossroads. As the dust settles from the Lakers' playoff exit, the basketball world is watching closely to see what the league's all-time scoring leader will do next. James, who has spent the last 8 seasons in Los Angeles, hasn't yet committed to returning for a 23rd year. He's made it clear that any decision will come only after taking time to reflect and talk things over with his family. At the center of the speculation is LeBron's $52.6 million player option for the 2025-26 season, a decision he must make by June 29. Opting in would keep him under contract with the Lakers for one more year. Opting out would make him an unrestricted free agent, free to negotiate a new deal with the Lakers, or explore opportunities with other teams. While there's still time before the deadline, ESPN's Shams Charania shared on the Pat McAfee show that signs point to LeBron opting in. "I've been told he's likely to opt in," Charania said. "It's a massive player option, around $54 million. That's the current expectation. But again, his deadline is June 29, so he has a few more weeks to talk things through. He and the Lakers still have to have some honest conversations about the direction of the team. Because at this point in his career, LeBron wants to compete. Period." Charania added that should LeBron return for year 23, it wouldn't be just any season, it would be a storybook one. It's his 23rd season. He wears no 23. The All-Star Weekend is in Los Angeles. If this ends up being his final run, what a way to go out. The ball is in the Lakers' court. Lakers GM Rob Pelinka has made it clear, the franchise wants LeBron back. But it's not just about keeping him, it's about building a team that gives him a legitimate shot at another title. LeBron, now 40, isn't just here to play, he's here to win. And if Pelinka can't assemble a championship-caliber roster, it could heavily influence LeBron's decision, whether or not he picks up the option. If he does opt in without taking a pay cut, which is currently the expectation, the Lakers will face serious limitations in free agency. Their flexibility would be restricted to minimum contracts and the taxpayer mid-level exception worth just over $5 million, a tight budget for a team with title aspirations. Rich Paul, even I don't know what comes next. Adding a bit more intrigue, LeBron's longtime agent, Rich Paul of Clutch Sports, recently admitted he's not sure what the future holds. "I can't say how much longer LeBron will play," Paul said. "That's up to him. It's about how he feels physically and mentally, and what kind of situation he's walking into." All signs still suggest a return, but with LeBron, nothing is ever certain until it's official. Whether he's suiting up for one last ride or positioning himself for a deeper long-term playoff push, the next move could define not just the final chapter of his career, but the Lakers' immediate future. As the NBA offseason unfolds, the spotlight remains firmly on LeBron James and his impending decision regarding the 2025-26 season. The 40-year-old Los Angeles Lakers superstar faces a pivotal choice: opt into his $52.6 million player option or explore new horizons in free agency. While the deadline looms on June 29, insiders suggest that James is leaning towards opting in, primarily due to the substantial financial commitment involved. NBA. However, this decision isn't solely about money. James' agent, Rich Paul, has emphasized that the choice hinges on more than just financial considerations. "It's not the physical aspect, it's where you're at mentally," Paul remarked, highlighting the importance of James' psychological and emotional readiness for another season. Additionally, James is recovering from a knee injury sustained in April, which may influence his decision-making process. The Times of India. Complicating matters is a reported frosty relationship between James and the Lakers front office. Tensions have arisen over roster decisions, notably the team's failure to acquire a center, a need highlighted by former teammate Anthony Davis before his trade to the Mavericks. Despite these challenges, the expectation remains that James will return to the Lakers, potentially on a new deal that could include a pay cut to facilitate roster improvements. The Lakers' off-season strategy will play a crucial role in James' decision. General Manager Rob Pelinka is reportedly committed to assembling a competitive roster that aligns with James' championship aspirations. The team's ability to make impactful moves, such as acquiring veteran sharpshooter Klay Thompson, could influence James' willingness to re-sign. As the June 29 deadline approaches, all eyes will be on LeBron James. His decision will not only shape the Lakers' future, but also potentially mark the final chapter in a legendary career. Whether he opts in or out, James' next move will undoubtedly be a defining moment in NBA history.